Hello my dear students, welcome to my class. My name is KESHAV, working as a lecturer in chemistry. On behalf of chemistry department, I wish you all the best for upcoming competitive examination. For this competitive examination, prepare well, do well in the exam and get very good rank. Okay? Now, before going to the actual topic, let us discuss how to prepare for this competitive examination. Mainly I will focus on Neet, JEE and CET. Please remember students, these three exams is mainly based on NCERT syllabus. That is, most of the question, about 90 to 95% of the question comes from the NCERT syllabus only. That's why you should read NCERT syllabus carefully, understand the concept, then apply that concept to solve the problems. What you have to do while solving the problems? First, read the concept, then try to solve the basic level problems by applying the concept, because the basic level problems are only one concept oriented. After understanding this, then you will move on to solve the higher level problems, because the higher level problems are multiple concept oriented. That's why in order to solve these higher level problems, the extra thinking is necessary. If you solve the basic level problems, if you know the basic concepts very well, then it becomes very easy to solve the higher level problems. Clear? Next, solve as many as objective type question, so that in that concept you will become a master, so that any problem is given you can solve very easily. Okay, so with this background I will move on to the first chapter, that is some basic concepts of chemistry. Next, we will discuss what is the definition of chemistry. Chemistry is a branch of science which deals with the study of composition, structure and properties of matter, and the changes the matter undergoes under different conditions, and the laws which govern these changes. If you consider this definition has a three part. One is composition, structure and properties of a matter. The matter contains what are the different things, what are the components present in that matter. That is composition, how it is designed, that is the structure of the matter, and properties. What do you mean by properties? That is physical and chemical properties of a matter. Then the changes the matter undergoes under different condition. That means the matter undergo the changes from one physical state to another physical state. That means solid is converted into liquid, liquid is converted into gas, or gas is condensed into liquid, liquid is condensed into solid, like that. And the laws which governs these changes. What are the different laws which governs the changes of one system to another system? Okay, so all these are included, and that branch of chemistry or that branch of science is called as chemistry. Is it clear? Next, we'll move on to importance and scope of chemistry. Chemistry plays an important role in the day-to-day life. Chemistry helps us to lead a luxurious life. How chemistry helps us to lead a luxurious life? Now we will discuss one by one. Okay, first we consider increase in the production of food. Increase in the production of food. Now we know that day by day the population is increasing. When the population increases, the need also increases. In order to fulfill the need, the production of crop should be increased. How chemistry help us to increase the production of food? The chemistry provides fertilizers like urea, calcium superphosphate, ammonium sulfate, sodium nitrate, etc. These fertilizers increases the fertility of the soil. Then the production of food also increases so that it fulfills the need. Next, chemistry help us to protect the crop from harmful bacteria, insects and herbs. In order to kill these harmful bacteria, some chemicals are used, that is pesticides, insecticides, herbicides. By using these chemicals, we can protect the crop from harmful bacteria or insects or herbs. Not only it protects the food, chemistry help us to preserve the food for a long time by adding food preservatives like sodium benzoate. It is one of the food preservatives. These food preservatives preserves the food for a long time. Okay, in this way the chemistry helped us to increase in the production of food. Is it clear? Next, we will move on to contribution to better health and sanitation. We know that so many life-saving drugs are synthesized. Due to the synthesis of these life-saving drugs, nowadays the typhoid, TB, cholera, dysentery, pneumonia, etc. are curable diseases. We know that very important drugs, that is cisplatin and Taxol, and these two drugs are used to treat the cancer. These two drugs are highly effective against cancer, and it's a very important, cisplatin and Taxol. Another drug, that is azithromycin. It is called AZT, azithromycin, which is used for AIDS victim. Okay, so in order to treat the AIDS victims, azithromycin drugs is used. Okay, so it is also very important. Then analgesics are used to reduce body pain. Then antipyretic, which is used to reduce body temperature during high fever. Antibiotics are used to cure some of the diseases. Antiseptics are used to prevent the septic of wounds. Then tranquilizers, which is used to reduce the mental tension. Especially the tranquilizers are used to treat the mental diseases. It brings the calmness and reduces the tension. Then anesthetic agents are discovered, and after the discovery of this anesthetic agent, the surgical operation becomes easy. Okay, some of the synthetic tonics and vitamins are helpful to live healthy. Okay, so these are the very important drugs which is very good for the better health and sanitation. Okay, next we will move on to saving the environment. We know that for refrigeration in olden days CFCs are used, that is chlorofluorocarbons, and these chlorofluorocarbons straight away moves to the stratosphere where the depletion of ozone layer occurs and it causes harmful effect to the environment. Chemistry help us provide a substitute for CFC so that it becomes eco-friendly. So many harmful chemicals are replaced by eco-friendly chemicals so that we can save the environment. In this way, the chemistry saves the environment by substituting harmful chemical to the environment by eco-friendly chemicals. Okay. Next, we will move on to increase in comforts, pleasures and luxuries. Now, for example, say in addition to a natural fibers, that is cotton, silk, wool, some synthetic fibers are synthesized, that is terylene, nylon, rayon, etc. These are more comfortable, more durable and more attractive. By using these fibers, we will synthesize the fabrics and the durability of this fabric is more. Okay. Next, and also some of the dyes are prepared and these dyes gives bright color to the fabrics and the color remains for a long time. Okay, so in this way it increases the durability of the product and also it increases the attraction and also it gives comfort. Then chemistry help us to construct a safer home, multi-story buildings, bridges, dams, etc. by providing the raw materials, that is steel and cement. The steel and cement are the chemistry product. Okay. Then the chemistry provides the required metals. We know that the metals are obtained from the earth crust in the form of their ores. The ores are subjected for metallurgical operations. After that you will get the metal and those metals are used for making utensils, coins, ornaments, etc. Not only this, some alloys are prepared by blending the two or more metals and those alloys having better properties. Okay. Then as household articles, in day-to-day life we will use so many things: brush, paste, ornament, cosmetics, then utensils, oil, okay, cooking gas, okay, cloth, etc. All these are the domestic articles and these domestic articles are prepared with the help of chemistry. Okay, so that it increases the comforts, pleasure and luxury of the human beings. Is it clear? Next, we will move on to transport and communication. We know that all the type of transport, either air or by land or in water, all the transport needs fuel. These fuels are either charcoal or petroleum products, and these charcoal and petroleum products are nothing but the chemistry product. For communication also needs some chemicals. In this way, the chemistry helps in transporting and also for communication. Okay. Next, we'll move on to nuclear or atomic energy. In entire world, we are facing the energy crisis because we are using the non-renewable sources, that is fossil fuels like charcoal or petrol or diesel, etc. These are the petroleum products in order to generate the electricity. Now all these are non-renewable sources. One or the other day, the world facing a serious problem, that is energy crisis. Here chemistry came into rescue, that is by using a radioactive element in the nuclear reactor, the generation of electricity is done, and that is called a nuclear power plant. Okay, so by using uranium-235, it's a radioactive element. By using uranium-235 in the nuclear reactor, the energy is generated, that is electricity is generated. Okay, so in this way the chemistry plays an important role. Next, application in industry. We know that all the industry, glass, textile and cement industry, all these are drug industry, all these industries are based on the chemistry. That means the raw materials required, and based on chemistry principles, and you use that raw material and will convert into a useful product, and the useful product is sell in the market, so that the chemistry helps to construct a industry, and it gives a job opportunity for human beings. Next, we will move on to application in the war field. We know that so many blasting material like TNT, trinitrotoluene, then nitroglycerin, then so many poisonous gases, that is mustard gas, phosgene gas, etc. All these are obtained from the chemistry principles. Okay, so these nowadays atom bombs and hydrogen bombs are used, and that is based on the chemistry principle. Okay, so chemistry help us to lead a luxurious life in the day-to-day life. Okay, so in this way the chemistry is very, very important. Please remember what I am telling, all the useful effect, but there is a harmful effect also, but the harmful effect is very, very less. Okay. Next, we will move on to matter. What do you mean by a matter? The matter is nothing but the anything that has a mass and occupies space, and existence of these can be experienced by any one of our sense organs, and those are called as matter. Okay. Next, classification of matter. Matter can be classified in two ways. One is physical classification, another one is chemical classification. First, let us discuss the physical classification. Based on the physical state of matter under ordinary conditions of temperature and pressure, the matters can be classified into three types. One is a solid, another one is a liquid, third one is a gas. Solids are those substances which are having definite shape and definite volume. Definite shape and definite volume. Those substances are called as solids. Example, sugar, iron, gold, wood, etc. In this, intermolecular force of attraction is very, very strong. Next, we will move on to liquid. Liquids are those substances which do not have any specific shape but has a definite volume. It acquires the shape of the container but it has a definite volume. It do not have definite shape. Is it clear? Next, example, water, milk, oil, mercury, alcohol, etc. The intermolecular force of attraction is less when compared to solid. Next, third one is gas. Gas are those substances which neither having definite shape nor having definite volume. The intermolecular force is very, very weak. Example is hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, etc. Both these liquids and gas are called as fluids. Why these are called as fluids? Because both these flows, hence these are called as fluids. Now, all these three states of matter, by changing the temperature and pressure, all are interconvertible. That means solid, when it is heated, it gets converted into liquid. Liquid, when it is heated, it gets converted into gas. Okay, on cooling, gas gets converted into liquid, liquid gets converted into solid. That means all the three physical states are interconvertible by changing temperature and pressure. Please remember, whether the gas and the vapors are same or different. The answer is different. How these are different? The substance under ordinary condition, if it exists as a gas, then we can call it as gas. For example, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, etc. These exist as gas, then we can call it as gas. If the substance exists in liquid state under ordinary condition, but higher temperature it exists as a gas, then we can call it as vapors. Please remember, water is a ordinary condition, it is liquid. When it is heated to a higher temperature, it vaporizes. Therefore, we can call it as water vapor, not water gas. Okay, so water vapor. Why it is called as water vapor? Because at ordinary condition it exists as a liquid. Okay. Next, we will move on to chemical classification. Based on the chemical composition, the matter can be classified into two types. One is mixtures, another one is pure substance. Let us consider mixture. Mixtures are those which are made up of two or more pure substances. Okay, so two or more pure substances. Its composition is always variable. Its composition is always variable. Okay, so mixtures can be classified into two types. Mixtures can be classified into two types. One is homogeneous mixtures. Homogeneous mixture. Another one is heterogeneous mixture. What do you mean by homogeneous mixture? The mixture in which the composition remains uniform throughout the system. If the composition of the system is uniform throughout the system, then it is called as homogeneous mixture. Okay, so composition should be uniform throughout the system, and those type of mixtures are called as homogeneous mixture. For example, air is a homogeneous mixture. Alloys that's a mixture of metal, is a homogeneous mixture. Sugar dissolved in water is a homogeneous mixture. All these are example for homogeneous mixture. Next, come to the heterogeneous mixture. Heterogeneous mixtures are the one in which composition is not uniform throughout the system. Okay, composition is not uniform throughout the system. The example is a mixture of salt, sugar and iron. Okay, mixture of salt, sugar and iron. Or milk is a heterogeneous mixture. Okay, so these are the example for heterogeneous mixture. Is it clear? Next, come to the pure substance. The pure substances are those which are made up of only one kind of particle, only one kind of particles, and those are called as pure substance. Please remember, its composition is fixed. Its composition is fixed. Pure substances can be classified into two types. One is elements, another one is compounds. One is element, another one is compound. Okay. Now, if you consider the element which cannot be decomposed into simpler substances, okay, so that means elements are those substances which are made up of only one type of atoms, only one type of atoms, and those are called as elements. Now, in the case of elements which cannot be decomposed into simpler one, okay, next we will move on to compounds. Compounds can be decomposed by chemical methods into constituent elements, okay. So compounds also the pure substances which are made up of two or more elements in their fixed ratio, okay. Let us discuss in detail elements and compounds. Now, elements are those substances which contains only one kind of particles, and those are called as elements. Based on the chemical nature of these elements, the elements can be classified into three types, that is metals, non-metals, metalloids. If we consider metals are those substances which reflect light, and hence these are having lustrous property, that means shining property. Why these metals reflect light? When the light falls on the surface of a metal, it absorbs light radiation and it emits the light radiation. While emitting light radiation, the frequency of absorbed radiation and the frequency of emitted radiation is one and the same, hence light looks like reflected back. That's why due to the reflection of light, it shines brilliantly. Metals are good conductor of heat and electricity due to the presence of mobile electrons. It's a very good conductor of heat and electricity. Metals are having very important property, that is malleable and ductile property. Malleable means the metals can be converted into thin sheets. Ductile means the metals can be drawn into thin wires. Okay, so the best example for metal is iron, copper, gold, silver, mercury. Please remember, mercury is a liquid metal, lead, aluminium, etc. Almost all the metal exists in the solid state except this mercury. Next, come to the non-metals. The non-metals are those which do not shine or which do not reflect light except iodine. Okay, so iodine is a non-metal which shines brilliantly. Non-metals are brittle in nature and bad conductor of heat and electricity except graphite. Graphite is a non-metal. Due to the presence of free electron, it conducts electricity. Okay. So, example: sulfur, phosphorus, iodine, bromine. Please remember, bromine is a liquid non-metal. Hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, these are gas. Okay. That means non-metal exists in all the three physical states. Next, come to the metalloids. Metalloids are those substances which are having both the properties, that is metals and non-metals, and those are called as metalloids. The best example is arsenic, antimony, bismuth. Next, we will move on to compounds. Compounds are pure substances which contains more than one kind of particles. Please remember, these are formed by fixed ratio. For example, water is a compound. Water is formed from two particles, that is hydrogen and oxygen, in the ratio 1:8. In the fixed proportions, these compounds are formed. Okay. So, compounds are pure substances which contains more than one kind of particles, and those are called as compounds. Then compounds can be classified into two types. One is organic compounds, another one is inorganic compounds. Organic compounds are those compounds which are made up of mainly carbon and other few elements like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, halogen, etc. Originally, these organic compounds are obtained from animals and plants. Okay. Example for this is methane. Okay. Methane, CH4, acetic acid, CH3COOH. Okay. Ethyl alcohol, C2H5OH. Aniline, C6H5NH2. Okay. Benzoic acid, C6H5COOH. So, all these are organic compounds. Next, inorganic compounds. Inorganic compounds are those compounds which are formed from the combination of two or more elements from the around 115 known elements. By the combination of these, you will get the compound, and those compounds are called as inorganic compounds. These inorganic compounds are obtained from rock and mineral. Example: sodium chloride, HCl, NaOH, H2SO4, sodium carbonate, etc. All these are inorganic compounds. Next, we will move on to atoms and molecules. What are atoms? An atom is the smallest particle of an element which may or may not be capable of independent existence. Okay, may or may not be capable of independent existence. For example, see, iron, Fe, it has independent existence. Copper, Cu, gold, Au, silver, Ag, etc. These can exist freely, whereas atoms of hydrogen, okay, whereas atoms of hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen cannot exist freely, and these can exist as H2, O2, N2, etc. Okay, so these are called atoms. So these will not exist freely, and these are in the combined form. That means the two atoms combine with one another. Okay. Next, we will move on to molecules. A molecule is the smallest particle of an element or a compound which can exist freely. Okay, so a molecule is the smallest particle of an element or a compound which can exist freely. Therefore, molecules may be classified into two types. What are the two types of particle? What are the two types of molecules? See, molecules of elements. Molecules of elements. They are made up of only one kind of atoms. They are called homoatomic because only one type of atom, homoatomic or homonuclear molecules. For example, see helium, neon, argon, etc. are monoatomic because single atom, only one kind of atom, single atom, that's why it is monoatomic. Hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, etc. are diatomic, but it is not hetero. It is homoatomic but diatomic. Two atoms are combined with one another. And ozone, that is O3, is a triatomic, three oxygen combined with one another. P4, S8, etc. are polyatomic. Many atoms are combined with one another. Okay, so this is about the molecules of elements. Next, we will move on to molecules of compound. They are made up of atoms of different elements. Hence, they are called heteroatomic or heteronuclear molecules. Heteroatomic or heteronuclear molecules. For example, see HCl is a diatomic. Hydrogen and chlorine both are different. H2O, CO2, etc. are triatomic. That means three atoms combines with one another. Two hydrogen, one oxygen. One carbon, two oxygen. Okay. Next, triatomic. That is ammonia. Ammonia is tetratomic. That means four atoms combined with one another. And sulfuric acid, sodium carbonate, etc. are polyatomic. Many atoms are combined with one another. Okay students, I will stop it here. I will discuss some more concept in the next class. Okay.